For 438 days, José Salvador Alvarenga drifted across the Pacific Ocean. Alone. No engine, no radio, no rescue. Only a small fishing boat and an endless ocean. Most people would have died within days. Many believed surviving even a single month was impossible. José survived more than 14. But the ocean wasn't his greatest enemy. The greatest battle was the one inside his own mind. This is the true story of one of the longest documented survival drifts ever recorded. And it all began with what should have been an ordinary day at sea. It was November 2012. José Salvador Alvarenga had done this thousands of times before. The Pacific Ocean wasn't something he feared. It was where he earned a living. Every morning began the same way. Fuel, fishing gear, ice, bait, another ordinary trip. On that morning, José was joined by a young fisherman named Ezequiel Cordoba. He had far less experience, but neither of them expected anything unusual. The weather forecast gave no reason to worry. The sea looked calm, the sky was clear. It was supposed to be another routine fishing trip. Catch the fish, return before sunset, go home. Nothing about that morning suggested that history was about to be written. Within hours, everything would change. At first, it didn't seem dangerous. Dark clouds appeared on the horizon. Storms were common in the Pacific. Experienced fishermen had seen them many times before. José wasn't worried. He believed they could simply wait or steer around it. But this storm was different. The wind began to rise. Small waves became larger. Within minutes, the calm ocean disappeared. The sky turned almost black. Rain crashed against the boat. The sea exploded into chaos. Towering waves lifted the small fishing boat, then slammed it back into the water. José fought the engine. Ezequiel struggled to hold on. They tried turning back, but the shoreline had already disappeared. The radio stopped working. Then the engine failed. From that moment, they were no longer fishermen. They were survivors. And their fight had only just begun. The storm showed no mercy. Hour after hour, the waves kept growing. The tiny fishing boat disappeared between walls of water. Every crash felt strong enough to tear it apart. José held the wheel with everything he had. Ezequiel bailed water as fast as he could, but the ocean always poured in faster. Rain soaked everything. Their food, their clothes, their equipment. Visibility dropped to almost nothing. They couldn't see the horizon anymore. They couldn't see the shoreline. They couldn't even tell which direction they were moving. The GPS stopped responding. The radio was silent. The engine struggled, coughed, and finally died. Silence. Not because the storm had ended, but because they had lost the one thing keeping them in control. The current took over. The Pacific Ocean was now deciding where they would go. José looked toward the endless darkness. For the first time, he realized something terrifying. They were no longer trying to get home. They were simply trying to stay alive. When the storm finally passed, the silence felt unreal. The sky was blue again. The ocean looked peaceful, but nothing was the same. The coastline had vanished. Every direction looked identical. Jose searched the horizon for hours. There was nothing. No ships, no land, no rescue planes. Only water. The engine was dead. The radio never answered. The GPS showed nothing useful. They were completely alone. At first, they believed someone would come. Fishing boats knew their route. Someone would notice they were missing. Someone would start searching. They waited. One day passed, then another. Hope remained strong. Jose carefully rationed their food. Every bottle of water mattered. Every decision could mean another day of life. He refused to panic, because panic was as dangerous as the ocean itself. Every sunrise brought hope. Every sunset brought disappointment. Far beyond the horizon, their families had no idea that the real nightmare had only just begun. Days turned into weeks. The food disappeared first. Then the fresh water. Hunger became constant. Thirst became unbearable. The Pacific offered no mercy. Jose knew that waiting meant dying. He had to adapt. When rain finally came, they caught every drop they could. Buckets, plastic containers, anything that could hold water became priceless. When there was no rain, they searched for another way. Fish became their only reliable source of food. Jose caught them with his bare hands, or simple fishing lines made from whatever remained. There was no fire. Everything was eaten raw. Blood, skin, meat. Nothing could be wasted. Seabirds landed on the boat from time to time. Jose caught them whenever he could. Even turtles became a source of food and water. There was no room for disgust, only survival. Every sunrise meant another chance. Every night, they wondered if it would be their last. The ocean wasn't trying to kill them. It simply didn't care whether they lived or died. Weeks became months. Time stopped making sense. Jose no longer counted the days. He counted sunrises and sunsets. The ocean never changed. The same horizon, the same waves, the same endless silence. Ezekiel struggled the most. He missed his family. He missed home. He spoke less with each passing day. Some days, he said nothing at all. Jose knew that losing hope could be just as deadly as hunger. So every morning, he gave them a reason to survive. He talked about home, about food, about the people waiting for them. He refused to let silence win. But even Jose wasn't immune. There were days when he questioned everything. Days when the ocean felt endless. Days when rescue seemed impossible. Sometimes he thought he saw ships. Sometimes he believed he could hear voices. But when he looked again, there was nothing. Only the sea, only the wind, only the silence. The greatest battle was no longer against the ocean. It was against the human mind. And every single day, that battle became harder. More than 4 months had passed. The supplies were gone. The rain had become unpredictable. Every new day demanded another impossible decision. Ezekiel was growing weaker. He could barely eat. He barely spoke. His strength disappeared one day at a time. Jose tried to keep him alive. He shared every drop of water, every piece of fish, every word of hope. But sometimes, hope is not enough. One morning, Ezekiel refused to eat. He whispered that he wanted to see his family again. José told him they would. He promised they would make it home. He had to believe it, not only for Ezekiel, but for himself. Days later, Ezekiel died. The silence that followed was heavier than the ocean itself. José was completely alone. No voices, no conversation, no one to share the endless days. Only the sea, only the sky, only his own thoughts. He later said that surviving the ocean was difficult. Surviving the loneliness was even harder. From that moment on, every sunrise became a question. How much longer could one human being endure? Month after month, José continued to drift across the Pacific. He no longer knew the date. He no longer knew how many miles he had traveled. His beard had grown long. His body had become painfully thin. But somehow, he was still alive. Every morning, he searched the horizon. Most days, there was nothing, only the endless ocean. Then, one afternoon, something was different. Far away, a dark shape appeared. At first, he thought it was another illusion. He had imagined rescue before. He had imagined islands before. He had imagined ships before. Each time, hope had turned into disappointment. So he looked away. Then he looked again. The shape was still there. It wasn't moving. It wasn't disappearing. It was real. José picked up everything he had left, every last bit of strength. He began paddling toward it. Hour after hour, the shape became clearer. Trees, sand, land. After more than 400 days at sea, the impossible was finally within reach. But José had no idea that another challenge was waiting for him on shore. When José finally reached land, he could barely stand. His body was exhausted. His skin had been burned by more than a year beneath the Pacific sun. He had lost an unimaginable amount of weight. But he was alive. The people who found him could hardly believe his story. A fisherman, missing for more than 400 days, had somehow survived. Doctors examined him. Reporters questioned him. Experts tried to understand how a human being could endure so much. The answer wasn't simple. It wasn't strength alone. It wasn't luck alone. It was adaptation, discipline, hope, and an extraordinary will to live. José Salvador Alvarenga drifted across the Pacific Ocean for 438 days, more than 6,000 miles, one of the longest documented survival drifts in human history. His story reminds us that the limits of the human body are often surpassed by the strength of the human mind. Sometimes, survival isn't about defeating nature. Sometimes, it's about refusing to surrender. Against all odds, José came home, not as the fisherman who left Mexico, but as the man who survived the impossible. Because even in the darkest ocean, as long as hope remains, the journey isn't over.